Well, after a gap of 2 years and the COVID-induced pandemic, world leaders have gathered for World Economic Forum's annual meet at Davos in Switzerland. NDTV's Vishnu Som spoke to EaseMyTrip founder Prashant Pitti at a time when the travel industry is recovering from the COVID shock and now the war, and it's facing soaring fuel prices. He says this is the best time to be in the travel industry. In fact, he also spoke to the curator of the Russia War Crime House in Davos. Let's listen into both the conversations.
The last couple of years have been extremely difficult for the travel industry. That's because COVID has resulted in so many cancellations, businesses going under, airlines struggling to survive, the hotel industry absolutely tottering, not just in India, but around the world. But there is a sense now that the situation is improving. The world is coming out of COVID. Hotel bookings are improving. Flight resumptions mean that the airlines have more than a lease of life. Joining us now to talk a little bit about that, Prashant Pitti. He is the CEO of EaseMyTrip and somebody who's looking forward to the headwinds subsiding. Do you believe that they have?
Oh, of course, yes. Well, basically, this is probably the best time to be in the travel industry. As you rightly said, the last 2 years have been excruciating. Travel industry was the worst hit industry. But now, as the numbers are also telling, in fact, only day before yesterday, the domestic flights actually crossed pre-pandemic numbers. And if I could talk a little bit about India, right now there are about 710 domestic airplanes in India. But it is anticipated in the next 2 decades, 2,200 more airplanes will be added.
Yeah.
So India is unlike any other country in the world because there are 66 more airports which are about to upcoming.
But what about your own bookings? Is that something that you also see having gone up a great deal in the last few months? Could you give us an idea on whether it has?
Well, Vishnu, our last quarterly results clearly showcased that we are way beyond our pre-pandemic numbers already. So as EaseMyTrip is a growing company, we are the second largest already, but we are growing pretty rapidly. We have crossed our pre-pandemic numbers in the last quarter itself. This particular quarter, there was a slight bump of COVID wave 3, but still we anticipate the numbers to be pretty good.
A couple of variables in this. Fuel prices in India. Let's firstly talk about aviation turbine fuel costs in India. It's a nightmare. I mean, let's face it, it's the highest in the world. It's highly variable. In the context of our aviation sector, where every last rupee is needed by airlines to make a particular flight financially viable, this will remain a constant challenge. That means it will be a challenge for you as well.
Well, eventually, yes, it would boil down to the consumers because as the prices go up, airlines will also have to maintain their margins and hence bump up the price. However, the pent-up demand is so strong right now that even with the crazy prices, we are seeing flights go chock-a-block. Right. So at least for the moment, because of the pent-up demand, we are not really seeing any. In fact, there are more and more new sectors and flights which are upcoming, despite the price being crazy. Right. However, in the last couple of weeks, we have seen the prices go a little bit normalized.
Right. And what are some of the other concerns that you see going forward? Again, let's talk a little bit about aviation. We've gone through a huge shakedown in the aviation industry. Now, so you've had airlines which have absolutely failed, and now there is a resurgence of some of them. Jet, unbelievable story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Akasa coming online. Indigo is still strong. SpiceJet in deep trouble. Where do you see the Indian airlines at this juncture?
See, as I was mentioning it earlier before, that at least the overall industry is bound to expand by at least 12 to 15% per annum basis. So that should leave a lot of room for the airlines to continue to grow and make hefty profit margins in the future.
Let's talk a little bit about the bookings on your site. What are some of the trends that you've seen? Let's talk in areas outside aviation. What about hotels? What are the trends that you have seen in India bookings and bookings for people outside?
Well, basically,
you do bookings outside as
absolutely. We are a global company, and in fact, one of the reasons why we are in Davos is, we are expanding globally. So we have recently opened up an office in Dubai, London, and also in America. And we want to take our technology and our operational efficiency to abroad as well. So at EaseMyTrip, we are a growing company, and on the other spaces which are non-aviation, we have been growing then more than 2x, almost on annual basis since last couple of years. So of course, EaseMyTrip started its business with aviation. That is why we are primarily known for aviation, which is to book air tickets.
Right.
However, in travel, there is a lot of cross-selling which happens.
Right.
The first thing people do is basically book the air tickets and then they buy the hotel. So we are able to convert those people very well.
And what brings you to Davos? What is it that you're looking for? Investments or?
No, not really.
That couldn't be hard. That couldn't be bad though.
Wouldn't be a good side effect for what's happening over here. But yes, primarily the idea to be over here. Firstly, I'm just glad that we are invited to come and speak over here.
Yeah.
But the main idea to be over here is to find the right connects to help us grow, expand, and globally. And
Right.
that's the main reason why I'm over here.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, giving us a snapshot of where you see your sector going and the Indian aviation and hotel space as well. And good luck with Davos. Thanks very much for speaking to us.
Thank you so much.